super excited. Are you stoked for this? Because, like, look, both of these
Yeah,
players, before we get to the countdown, right? So you're talking about these two players have been rivals for a very long time, absolute icons in the community, and we're rolling into Vermilion.
yeah. Like I said in the Twitch chat, just absolute mad like anime trash talk between these two. So like they are both out for blood. Like you paid for the whole seat, but you're only gonna need the edge.
Yeah. So this matchup between these two players, absolutely, they have been grinding out. So Cold Cuts is a big, big icon in the community, has been streaming 2DX and Penitos for a very, very long time. We all see him as a very big pillar. Bit in the same realm as well. But the biggest difference right now, what we have going on here, is Bit specializes in double play, right? Next thing you know, he entered this tournament on singles play and has been grinding it out for a while to compete, next thing you know, against Cold Cut. So this is a matchup that has been waiting to happen for a very, very long time. As Jamie, you were saying, in this chat that we're keeping an eye on in the backgrounds, it's kind of like an anime face-off. Both players are like, hey, just really relentless. They're like, I'm going to give it my all. You know that, right? Absolutely. I'm expecting it. So, hey, we're about to see some fantastic plays. Vermilion, how do you feel about this chart, Jamie?
It's a pretty solid chart. Like I don't think there's really anything too tricky about it. Looks like they're both playing at non-ran as well, which is definitely going to keep the trickiness from going too far off the rails. A very
Right.
close play.
Right. That was really, really quick, honestly. Vermilion is a very fundamentally based chart. Both players really putting up great numbers on the EX score. But I think Cole literally scraped that out by a couple EX.
Yeah, I'm tallying up the scores now. Yeah, Cold is just barely ahead there.
I'm telling you, this is going to be another match. Ladies and gentlemen, chat, get hype. I'm going to say again, this is a matchup that's been waiting to happen for a long, long time. Both players, I mean, Bit specializes in doubles play. Very, very high skill player, right? Next thing you know, he's stepping down to singles. And guess what happens? Both players actually match up against each other. They pushed through qualifiers, made it happen. And we're seeing this now. These scores are great. We're going to be seeing some very close matches.
Yeah, like they are literally neck and neck, like coming out of that first song. Like Cold Cuts, like almost 0.9% ahead.
Right.
Like, this is gonna come down to one song more than likely.
What? Yo, hey, Jamie, you see what's up next? What are we doing right now? Are we already going to just like slap some heat on the notes right now? Like, is this about to happen?
Apparently. Yeah, we're just gonna jump straight to 12s.
Invoker single plays another, a 12, 1,624 notes. You're talking about balancing a ton of chord bursts. You're talking about scratches. The BPM is another thing to handle, 195. We're going to see how both of these players are going to handle this. This is something that I do feel that both players, we're looking at Cold Cuts with a no play. We're looking at Bit Decay with the play on it. Oh, this escalated very.
Yeah, and now they're talking to each other again in chat.
They are. Oh,
yeah,
they're firing.
Yeah, Bit says, I warned you.
Oh.
Grandpa Cold Cut says, SSDZ, chill out.
Oh my gosh. And you know what's funny? Hey, so I was keeping an eye on my Steam, and guess what? I saw Cold Cuts. And if you don't know Cold Cuts, let me tell you about this guy real quick. Grandpa Cold Cuts, Tekken Master. He's a great fighting game player, right? Shout out to Cold Cuts. I really need to play Tekken with you. But I got to see Cold Cuts log on to Tekken before actually hopping and playing in this tournament. So I could tell that he is probably kind of refining his focus, getting ready for this matchup, just trying to get in that mindset of like, hey, this is happening. Oh, this is going to be a great play by both players. So Invoker is really a good fundamental 12. I can honestly see this going both great for both of these players. I mean, Invoker really tests abilities across the full spectrum. I mean, you're talking about pretty speedy bursts and pretty speedy streams. You got the chords and you got scratches in the mix too. Luckily we ain't got the Legendaria and Infinitas, but who we?
Yeah, Bit didn't even wait for the countdown. He just started. Like he really wants that blood.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna start here.
He's just now. He may have just realized that he started too early, and he may be restarting.
So how are we going to take this? TOs with a premature start and a bailout.
5-yard penalty.
All right, we're just gonna call it as a, hey, we're just gonna let him go for a second. Yeah, there we go. So Cold is trying to manage this interesting portion.
Yeah, like Alex was saying, this is a very honest 12. It's nothing but fundamentals, chord bursts. There's nothing tricky. There's nothing finicky. There's no gimmicks. It's just, can you hit this thing I'm asking you to hit?
Absolutely. This is a very, very technical chart in all aspects. I mean, it throws everything at you for, an introductory 12 in my book. I mean, I do see this as a quite easier 12 to clear. I believe in Cold Cuts for managing this, and seeing Cold Cuts just making his way through this chart is something else.
Yeah, he's actually pace-making Bit right now. Absolutely. On his score. He's actually...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say he's quite a bit ahead of Bit, but I remember Bit did that false start.
Yeah, with the premature start, accidents happen, especially when we're in this time, kind of setting, with a countdown on Discord and trying to make things happen.
Yeah, it's hard to tell who's ahead right now.
Oh, the song is so good.
It really is. Like, if there was ever a reason, like, for anyone out there who wants to start getting into harder content to get into harder content, it's the songs. Like, so many of the 12s go really hard, and they're so much fun to play.
Mm-hmm. Cold wasn't able to get the clear on Invoker, sadly, but really put in effort to try to go for that clear and making it through the play. Bit is just finishing out his play as well. Looking like he's playing with a lot of confidence, getting through the last couple measures of the chart. Let's see how that ends up for him.
Oh, he's dropping a little bit here. Come on. Oh, no.
Bit! Oh. Slipping on the last couple measures as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if his hands were just a bit tuckered out after jumping straight into a 12 with relatively no warm-up.
Oh my goodness, this talk in chat right now. Jamie, you seen what I'm seeing?
This is spicy. Like they are out for blood.
You want to voice Cold Cuts? I'll voice Bit Decay.
Sure, yeah. It seems I gave you a vulnerability, Bit Decay. No more.
Good. I want full power. Both players are feeling it right now. They are going for it. What do we have up next?
Jaren Karen. So that's going to be in the Cannonballers folder.
Oh, best of luck to both players. I can definitely feel a little bit of nerves in this matchup. Honestly, seeing those last two, the last play that we just got to see, Invoker, with the two fails. Cold Cuts was trying to manage, but, Bit at the very end, looking, a little bit tuckered out at the end, like you said. I mean, throughout the whole entire song, just trying to manage at the end, just couldn't scrape that normal clear, Invoker.
Yeah, he's actually saying in the chat right now that he's going to be taking a short break from the game after tonight, no matter how his performance goes.
Oh, you know what? I don't blame that at all, because I mean, I know a lot of these players preparing for this little tournament, in support of the Bailout Project and the Tournaments of Hope. Shout out to Game Boy. When it came down to this time, a lot of people were practicing, offline, away from Twitch, just trying to, nail down getting, higher scores and just raising the proficiencies across the board. And I mean, we're seeing it here now. And when it comes to a play like Invoker where that happens, it's just like, hey, it's either, due to nerves or like, hey, maybe, I kind of put a little bit of practice a little bit too much, because hey, if you're in a tournament and it's getting to that point, you got to take it easy on yourself when you're preparing for stuff like this. I find this chart to be really cozy. I think this is a really good segue after Invoker to roll into. Kind of you can slow it down a bit, going straight into Invoker after the first song was just like a burst of energy, and I honestly do feel a little bit rough for dropping the donos for songs.
No, you don't. Let's be honest.
Nah, I don't, because I've been waiting for this matchup for a while. So Cold Cuts, both players on extra hard clear gauge. Cold Cuts is managing the intro of this song magnificently as well, just as Bit Decay is doing the same. I think this is going to be another pretty close matchup right here on the song. I really enjoy the feel of the song.
Yeah, like, it's such a cozy tone. Like, it's not too easy, it's not too hard, it sounds great, it's fun to play. Like, there's really can't find anything wrong with it. Well, one thing you guys may have noticed, neither of these players are using random, which is not unusual at this level, but it is something to point out because a lot of the other players we've seen tonight have been using random on virtually everything.
Right, and I think it comes down to that, hey, both of these players know exactly, hey, this non-ran works for me. I can actually highlight my play style and pull out a little bit more, P-grade chains and things of that nature, managing through the chart. It's really cool to see these. I wouldn't call it a safety strap, but I think this is straight strategy from both players right now.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Like, there is really no reason whatsoever.
Oh, wow.
To be pushing. Oh, that's
a tie. That's a tie.
Yeah, I think that's a tie.
That is a tie. We just saw a tie. What in the world is going on right now? We just saw a tie. Bit Decay raising his PB to tie Cold Cuts, who was raising his PB at the end, who just slightly dropped it. We are seeing magic happening right now in this matchup. You don't see stuff like this in online tournaments, ladies and gentlemen. This is hype.
Like, no, I said it before and I'll say it again. Like, we should have made this match a pay-per-view, but we're giving it to you for free.
Do I need to take another shower after matchups like this? First we had Dondas, Catastrophe, everybody putting out absolute incredible scores, and now we're running into a tie? Are you kidding? Jamie, are you kidding?
It's just gonna keep getting spicier too, because we still have Crossroad. This is just insane.
Ladies and gentlemen, are the scores calculated right now? Are they fully calculated? They are. Yeah, we are looking at
less than one.
We're looking at percentages right now. Bit Decay is rocking a total percentage of score on 86.96. Cold Cuts is at 86.08. This is so close. Let's keep it up.
Now, like I said at the beginning, this is going to come down to a single song. Like, we're going to... Like, and it may be Crossroad right here that ends up being the deciding song.
Well, and Jamie, the thing about it is, seeing Bit, and I've been watching his stream frequently when he's playing and just practicing and just, grinding through 9s and 10s. And I'm not going to lie, both of these players on singles are equally matched. They really are, and it's so nice to see, hey, we actually have the time to watch both of these fantastic players in the community duke it out in a match like this. Obviously, they wanted it to happen. I remember when that matchup happened. You saw when the names came out of who was playing who. They were hyped.
Yeah.
All right, so we are seeing Crossroad for the second time in this tournament. Crossroad, yet again, a fundamental timing song. A lot of players who play at this level have such high EX averages on this song. What do you think we're about to see with this, Jamie? Because I have no clue.
It's gonna be close. Like if I were a gambling girl, I would put money on Bit though. Like he's just ever so slightly ahead.
Well, Bit is rocking the extra hard clear gauge where Cole turned on the hard clear. So we're gonna see where we're going from here. Looking at PBs, we don't want to keep that in aspects because we've seen players raise PBs. We saw Dondas literally get a max -4 on Gamble on a matchup, which was just like, what just happened there? Yet again, we're rolling into Crossroads. Fundamental timing song. Focus needs to be there to manage through the song, especially that little tiny turntable scratch burst at the end.
Yeah, definitely. And since they're both playing non-RAM, like you get like a perfect side-by-side view of how these guys are doing against each other.
Absolutely. Real quick, catching a side note from the commentary. So Vox came in, Voxandra with $10 on the donation, saying, "Is that a 2DX tournament I see? 3,000 gold, let's go." Thank you so much, Vox. I see you up in chat. Much love. Pass on love. Don't forget, use channel points if you'd like to request songs for the players to play. $5 donation. $5 donation gets your song in the queue to be played by the players, which I dropped 3 of for these 2 players to play.
Yeah, I just made sure to zero out my points again too. I don't watch enough Randomania to accumulate a huge stockpile of points, so there's no point in holding on to them. Can't take them with me to other channels.
Both players right now managing a PB. Bit scraping 2149. Cold Cuts looking at, what was that? 2018. Good plays. Not only that, Bit with another full combo. Cold Cuts really trying to scrape out. Managed through the chart, but Bit was able to capitalize on this play and got a 98.
Yeah, that widens the...
That's a really good PB.
Yeah, that widens things out quite a bit.
Right.
Bit has increased the lead to almost 5%.
Right, yeah. Getting a full combo on that is crucial for Bit to kind of seal the deal on this portion of the match, especially after the last couple plays that we saw. Really good plays, comfortable plays from both players. I mean, it's crazy when you're seeing players enter a tournament like this, and guess what's happening? People are PBing all over the place. It's like, I mean, I'm sitting here like, PB City. Ladies and gentlemen, we are taking a train to PB City, and all aboard, everybody can hop on this.
Yeah, the trash talk is heating up again behind the curtain, too.
Ah, yes. Up next. Shout out to that boy in chat. Had to drop down a donation for this, but I would love to see both players play something like this because DANC is very technical in its own way. A lot of interesting slight zur, a lot of staggered patterns and things like that. Scratch technique, where I feel that both of these players, when they were practicing, weren't really focusing on this realm of charting. So we're going to see how this play is going to pan out across both players.
Yeah, the song is also an absolute bop, too.
Yes. Also, without a comment, we have a $25 donation coming in from J-Ham. Thank you so much for the love. Want to put out, again, all proceeds, all the donations that are being raised throughout the Tournaments of Hope ran by Game Boy are being directly passed to the Bail Project. So we're seeing players slap keys while raising these funds towards a great cause. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and if you have something you really want to hear tonight, you can play to win. Like any donation, $5 or above, gets priority for your song pick.
Yep.
The more money you donate for that song, the higher up the priority list it goes. So if you really want to make them play Himiko and just absolutely hate their lives, you can absolutely do that and jump the queue and make it happen for the low price of $5.
Well, and that was one of the things I was honestly about to drop $5 to have to see them both play Himiko Hyper, but Himiko is Himiko, and I wouldn't even enjoy to watch the chart because it's just Himiko.
Yeah, it's not a fun chart.
It really isn't.
Involved, but we are
All
getting
right.
DAMCE now.
Yes, the Sour Please banger. We are rolling into the fifth song of this matchup between Bit Decay and Cold Cuts. Something to kind of chill the vibe for a bit.
Yeah, this is that music where you pull your loved one close and just have yourself a nice little romantic dance.
Hey, Jamie, would you dance with me?
I would. I'm not sure Spark would appreciate it, but I would.
Oh no, Sparko shock. It's just a little, little groove. Break dance. I'll pull out the cardboard box and do a little bit of breaking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What was the rule in high school? You gotta leave room for the Holy Ghost.
Hey. Both players, Jamie, are playing on non-ran right now. You're wild.
Yeah, Bit is pretty far ahead right now.
So, a very interesting thing about this chart is for a level 10 and another level 10, you're looking at some interesting charting going on here. There's a very interesting jack that's happening on key 1 on on-ran, right? And with everything else going on, with the scratches, it's actually really hard to keep your timing on a song like this. This is a very hard another 10 to time in general. Really tests out a specific type of skill set. And both players are managing a hard clear very comfortably on this song. Bit nearly getting a triple A.
No, it's just absolutely nutty plays.
I mean, you're talking about plus 100 PB on Cold Cuts' play. Bit Decay raising his PB, dropping a miscount as well. It's just like, when you're seeing plays like this, both players are coming out of the gate. They're coming out the woodwork, just dropping so much proficiency on the 7 keys and the turntable combo. Just really putting work in.
Yeah, it's just like the fact that they tied earlier on Jaren Terran. Like these two are like basically at the same level of skill.
They are.
Like it's just all coming down to like almost luck.
Well, and one big
like
go ahead, Jamie. Sorry.
It's like I said earlier. Like the timing window in this game is so tight. This is such a hard game. Like it just all comes down to like just getting that play, like getting that one play.
It really is. So, and I mean, the main thing is, so both of these players, right? When, streaming on Twitch, like 2DX Infinitas, when it was coming around on Twitch, Cold Cuts was like one of the main dudes to really put it out there. And guess what? On the right side of him was Bit Decay. Both of them were rivaling each other on singles for a long time. But Bit, as I said at the beginning of this matchup, Bit's proficiency and his skill set relies, heavily on DP, doubles. That's where he sits. Bit literally took his time to crunch down and get to this level on singles to play in a matchup against Cold like this. It's so good to see a friendly rivalry like this in the community. It's so nice to see. Oh, and yes, up next, we have May Hyper.
Yeah, not surprised that they're gonna play the Hyper. Like if they play the another, like that would probably be the end of the set for them. That is a brutal, exhausting 12.
So May Hyper, It's a 10. But really, really pushes your ability because like the soft land's still there, you know, like everything is still there. You got the streams, you got, you know, all that work that you have to just mentally, you know, take into aspect. Like, hey, how am I going to manage through this chart? We're about to see Cold Cuts and it in their matchup play May Hyper.
Yeah, we've been talking about like fundamental charts in 2DX. This is another great example of that. May Hyper has almost everything that you will see in any other type of chart in 2DX except for chord streams.
Absolutely.
Like there is so much stuff that you can get out of grinding this chart.
So May starts out at a BPM of 200. I just want to give a shout out that like Cold Cuts is playing on hard gauge where Bit is just going for the normal clear. So this could actually be a very big push for Cold Cuts to kind of bring himself back into the match after that full combo that Bit got on the last couple songs. And also, we're getting some donations coming through. Jamie, is it straight if I read off a couple of them?
Yeah, go for it.
So Kuvelia with $5 saying, loving this tournament and seeing the amazing skills. Yeah, shout out Kuv. And seeing the amazing skills each player has, let's keep on slapping keys for a good cause. And she requests stellar win. That's going to be in the next matchup. Thank you so much for the $5 donation. Zyber coming in with $5. Thank you so much, saying, I'm feeling like some noodles for dinner, but this girl keeps rejecting me, so can I get Rejection Girl in the queue? Absolutely, that will be up in the next match. And then we have Anonymous with $5 saying, request for Kaiser Phoenix. Thank you all so much for the wonderful donations. Really appreciate it.
And we're coming out of the Softland section now. And if you have not seen this chart before, this is where things start to get a little nutty.
Both players are managing really, really well. And I mean, Cold Cuts honestly hanging on, barely like having any trouble with this hard clear. Let's go Cold. Bit Decay managing as well, raising his PB by a marginal amount right now.
Yeah, this is so close.
This is
like,
really, really close.
Like, Bit is 25 notes ahead, but on a chart like this, like that's spitting distance.
Cold with the higher EX score and the hard clear. Nailing that, knowing that he can do that. Getting a PB on May Hyper. Bit getting a PB on May Hyper, getting a normal clear. Cold is coming back and waking up. Very, very wonderful plays by both players.
Yeah, he's 3 points and some loose change behind. Like, depending on how these next 2 songs go, like, this could turn the tables.
Absolutely. Oh, wow. We have a $5 donation coming in from Dat Boy. Shout outs. Best of luck to all players. Slap those keys for your boy. Speaking of your boy, my request is for Lower World. So we are filling up the queue with actual donation requests, which are going to take precedence over the channel points request. So we're going to be seeing these next 4 songs in the next matchup, which is going to be the third semifinals. Shout out. Thank you all so much for donating towards such a great cause. Oh, yes. And what are we getting into? What is the next? So dropping total right now, looking at the numbers, we have Bit Decay sitting at 91.05 on the total. Cold Cuts is sitting at 87.70. So that was able to bring him up by roughly about a small amount of percentage, but we'll see how these next songs are going to go. So we are rolling into Vulcan Hyper. Very cozy 9. Nothing too crazy, aside from trying to manage through a song that has a BPM of 205.
Yep, absolutely. And you know, like we mentioned a couple times throughout the stream, like BPM in this game doesn't really affect scroll speed, but it does affect note density. Like
And
those faster BPM songs are usually going to be a lot more dense, no matter what your green number scroll speed is.
right. And not only that, but it just really makes that timing aspect a little bit more tough to hit, trying to hit in that 2-frame window. You're talking about 205 BPM and you're trying to hit in a 2-frame window regardless of your green number that's locked in because of floating high speed. Like either way, it's difficult, faster
And
streams, faster notes.
yeah, and top that off with this being a 9 with 1,030 notes. That's pretty high for a 9.
It really is.
But like, and yet again, another video where it's unfortunate we can't see the background animation because this one is absolutely amazing. You're going to see both players going for the EX hard clear as well.
So both players starting out very strongly in the intro of Vulcan. Looks like a lot of confidence on the table right now for both players, especially with the fact of them both turning on extra hard clear. Even though this is a Hyper 9, regardless, an extra hard clear is an extra hard clear.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, Hyper 9 or not, like with EX hard clear on, if you hit a funny roll and you lose your timing, that's it. That's game over.
Absolutely. Well, and I think the thing about Vulcan, too, is it's just, yet again, another very cozy 9, but it's very tech-related.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you can see it right now in the section that they're in. Like, you've got these little rolls, you've got these little chord streams. Like, there's a lot of little things that you don't see in a lot of other 9s. That's tech that really doesn't start to happen until the higher-end 10s. Like, not a bad thing. It's just something kind of funny about this chart in terms of it being a 9.
Both players managing their extra hard clear gauge very well. We're seeing 2 very strong PBs on both players as well. I mean, honestly, are we seeing PBs across the board for all these players right now? Like, good. I mean, at least every player in the tournament has seen a PB so far.
Yeah, like absolutely nuts. And both of these guys, like, busted AAA as well.
Wow.
Oh, literally spitting distance from each other. Let me crunch real quick.
Bit Decay with 1918, Cold Cuts with 1892, both extra hard clears, both PBs, both putting in work. I mean, you all are seeing it here. Ladies and gentlemen, chat, get hype. I mean, this is just something that we've been really trying to put in work. This is the community coming out in full effort right now. We have a $20 donation coming in from Legend Hoa. Thank you so much, saying great play, y'all. Appreciate the $20 donation. It's massive. No song requests attached to that. Thank you very much, Legend. All the players playing in the tournament right now really putting in a lot of work.
Yeah, really big turnout from a lot of familiar faces in the community too. Like, in addition to what have been helping out, like we've had so many other people that also stream and are always in each other's streams and hanging out in the various 2DX discords and everything. It's just so nice to see everyone coming together for a good cause.
Absolutely. And we're going to be rolling into the last song of this match. Song 8, it's Bro Gamer. We're going to look at what difficulty the players choose in a second. But with that as well, I want to give a shout out. Hey, don't forget, both of these players actively stream on Twitch. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, please go to the specific channels and follow them. They stream actively. Bit Decay deserves the love just as Cold Cuts does as well. Please pass on love to the community because both these players are really just giving it their all. And this is a matchup that both of the players have been wanting to happen for a long time. And I mean, honestly, I don't know if we're going to see something like this again. So this is a real big moment for not only the players playing against each other, but for the community in general. This is a very good sight to see.
Oh,
they're playing another?
They're playing the
no. Okay.
Oh boy. Hey Alex, how do you feel about dubstep?
Oh, I enjoy it.
Would you go as far as to say you like dubstep?
I like dubstep.
Headshot. GG.
So both players have defaulted. Both players have defaulted to play the Hyper, and you know what? I don't blame them. I don't, because you're talking about a round that started with Vermilion, another, and then it rolled immediately into Invoker, which was a 12. You're talking about, hey, I gotta preserve my stamina to try to make it through this last song. With this round of 8 songs that they're playing, especially after May, hey, I don't blame them for saying like, no, I want to play Bro Gamer Hyper. There's no way I would try to be managing in a tournament setting Bro Gamer or another.
Yeah, it's
Like this for them.
like it is like it's right in the middle of the pack for 11 difficulty, but it's such a draining chart mentally and physically. Like it's so slappy and dense. It hits a lot harder than a lot of other 11s at that tier level.
Absolutely. You know, what's crazy is I actually haven't witnessed the hyper chart, so this is new for me seeing. I mean, it looks pretty straightforward for the most part compared to how the Another is, where you're running into these random bursts of notes that come in the intro, you know?
I think the breakdowns are harder on the Hyper as far as timing them goes, and you'll see why when we get to them, but it doesn't have the progressively chonkier slaps
Of course.
in the breakdown either.
I mean,
which does make it easier.
Right. From what I'm seeing right now is it's straight tech. You know, I'm seeing a little bit of stagger scratches here and there, you know, chords, like 2-note chords with a scratch. Ooh.
Yeah, this is, like, you can see right here where this would be harder than playing it on the Another. But, like, because you're actually having to move around on some of those chords.
Both of these players are really, really putting it out there right now in this last song of the set. This is a great closure.
Yeah, they are so close to each other right now.
Absolutely.
And it's still fitting too.
Absolutely. We're talking about Beatmania right now with 81.18 on the total percentage. Cold Cuts with 78.51. This can make it, honestly, you know.
And they're playing a song about shooting people in first-person shooters. Like, it couldn't be any more poetic than this.
It's just really...
So it's automatically a banger.
Right. It's really, really good to see both of these players just matching up against each other in a setting like this. This is something that I will say again. Oh, Big! No!
No, Cole!
Oh, no! You hate to see it.
Oh.
You hate to see it.
How many notes did he have left?
Oh.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, Bit. What, does that look like? Is that 5 more notes? 5 more notes.
He was right there.
Right there. Oh, gosh. You hate to see it.
That hurts so much.
Oh. Cold. I think I accidentally said Bit. Cold. Pardon me.
And unfortunately, that does seal the deal for Bit Decay. So he's going to be advancing to the next round. Very strong plays, though.
Absolutely, from both players. Absolutely.
And the best thing about it is, like, Cold Cuts and Bit Decay have been rivals for a long time, but they're also really good friends. So at the end of the day, they're still going to shake hands, and they'll laugh about this, and they'll move on.
Absolutely.
Like, they're just going to keep pushing each other to get better and better.
Absolutely. I mean, hey, you know, what a great matchup between both of these players that are absolute icons, in my opinion, in the community. Straight up. I mean, you're talking about a set. Vermilion, Another. Invoker, Another. A song I can't read. I think it was the Hummer song, the Another, you know, from Cannonballers. Crossroad, which was a timing aspect-based chart. DANCE, Another. May, Hyper, Vulcan. Then Bro Gamer. You're talking this. I mean, this whole round was all over the place for both of these players.
Yeah, just absolutely amazing plays from everybody.
Honestly, you won't see a matchup like this. I mean, I don't know until maybe the next tournament or something else, but this is yet again a matchup that both players wanted to happen. When the names came out of who was playing who in the matchups, the hype was there immediately. So I want to pass out massive love to both players. Bit, Cold, absolutely brilliant job on both y'all's plays. It's really good to see you both play against each other in the community. Jamie, you got anything else?
No, I'm trying to slide myself back onto the seat that I paid for, because after using the Edge for the last 8 songs, kind of need to tone it down a little bit.
Right.
Just absolutely insane. Great plays from both of our players, and that's actually going to wrap up the quarterfinals for us, I believe, Alex. So we'll be going into our semifinals.
Absolutely.
I already have a couple songs lined up for Dondas versus Ubezia.
That's going to be a great matchup. We have a lot of the donation requests that are going to be lining up for the final 4 songs of the first semifinals as well. So we will see how the semifinals are going to kick off with Dondas and Ubezia. Jamie, it was wonderful commentating with you.
Yeah, likewise, Alex. Always a pleasure to hang out with you. And I think at this point we're going to go ahead and throw it back over to the Sparko so that she can do her thing behind the scenes, and then we will be back in a couple minutes with the beginning of our semis.
All right, thank y'all. Stick around.
Right.
Semifinals are happening.
Yep, we'll be back.